Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? I've got 3 words for you. We are winning. Yes, we are. Guys, buckle up because we're in the middle of the storm. There's been so many things said about potentially the 20th of April being something very big in the calendar, and we shall see if that is so. But for me, it looks like something is about to happen. Now, firstly, I've got a new camera for my computer because some people complain that it looks too fuzzy when they put it on these TV screens. I don't know how big they really want to see my face, but anyway. So I've got a new camera, so let me know how that's looking. But my mouth is looking kind of weird. I don't know what's going on, but it kind of looks like a weird color. So just know I don't have a weird mouth in case you notice something like that. Anyway, so I can't help but think that something is afoot. We've got Easter weekend coming up. An interesting happened in South Africa, which one of our friends and tribe in South Africa alerted me to, which is just today. Government has decided to make next week a holiday for all the kids. So all the schools are closed. Now that's very interesting, guys. I'm just saying, it's very interesting. They've never, ever, ever done that before. We've got a bunch of public holidays over the next 2-3 weeks. Like literally every weekend is a public holiday of some sort. So it is kind of a holiday period. And for them to like close the schools altogether next week, I don't know. I'm finding it very interesting. And of course, Trump has also declared Holy Week. And hopefully that means the trash is going to be removed because we are cleaning the ship. We are cleaning things up. And yeah, just don't confuse with this sort of quiet stage of waiting and, potentially not much going on. Don't mistake that for nothing is going on, because a lot of things are going on in the background, which we're not privy to. So we know all of this stuff has been cooking for a while. This military operation has been very, very carefully and thoughtfully planned. So even though we can't always understand why it's taking so long, what's happening, why is nothing happening, all of these things, I think we can trust that things are happening in the background. We're just not privy to it. And I am very sure that things will happen as quickly as they can have it happen. A lot of people get upset because, the Epstein list, all of these things are not getting revealed, and it's just frustrating, and people are calling for the resignation of Pam Bondi, and all the while I just sit quietly in the corner because I know that things are falling in place and things will make more sense at the end of it. And that's why, the one thing that everyone has to learn is to, firstly, be patient. Secondly, not react too quickly. This is really the time for you to keep your emotions in check, to not be triggered, to be patient, to be kind, to be compassionate, because we are the ones that are going to be looked at or looked for when this is all going to go down. The normies, the people that have been asleep for the past, I don't know how many years, but especially the last 5, are going to need someone. They're going to need to call a friend, and you might be that friend for them. So let's be an example. Let's have exemplary behavior. Let's be impeccable with the things that we say, the things that we do. We're going to be the, leaders in the new earth. So you have to set an example, just like anyone that is, a parent that is an example for a child, or, a leader that is supposed to be an example for his people, which obviously they haven't really been for many hundreds of years. But that's about to change because, we are going to see the political system and the structure and how things are structured come down in the coming years. So all this talk about Trump running for another 4 years in 2028, I don't really mind that. I didn't really listen to any of that stuff at all, because I know that the government structure as we know it currently is going to go away. Just give me 1 second, guys. I will be right back. So everyone, I was just interrupted quite badly and for quite some time, so I actually had to start a new Zoom session. It's one of those weeks, one of those days, one of those months. Things are busy, things are happening, but I think what contributes to that is just time is getting wonky. So we seem to be losing time, and I've heard so many people talk about it. So it's not even like you know, a conspiracy, you would say, anymore. Somebody related it to the fact that it feels more like there's 14 hours in a day, not 24. And I can certainly attest to that because I'm just not getting things done that I'm supposed to in a day's work, and that's very strange. So it feels to me that we are definitely bending time at the moment. I don't know what is going on there, but it seems to be, get this camera right, it seems to be a case of speeding up, and with this timeline shifts and the timeline jumps and us moving into a new reality, a new frequency, a new density, that things are definitely getting a little bit wonky. On one hand, I wish I had more time so I can get things done. On the other hand, I kind of know that a lot of these things won't really matter when things start to shift. All of our worldly affairs and the things that are so urgent that we have to do, I have a feeling none of that stuff is going to matter anymore, pretty soon. So, well, maybe not that soon, but in the bigger scheme of things, the 40,000-foot view, when we look at it from a different perspective, from a different higher realm, looking into this avatar, experiencing life with all its ups and downs, it's not going to matter that much. So it's more about, how you've developed yourself, how you've evolved as a human being, how you've treated others. Even if life is a game or a simulation, it still matters because this is what we signed up for, to evolve our soul. And the soul is all about experiences. And it's basically a test. It's a school to see, can we pass this test? Can we move beyond and above all of this chaos and still rise up triumphantly, raise our vibration, place ourselves in a love frequency and be kind to others? I mean, that's really the test, right? So that's kind of how I look at it. And I'm starting to see things very differently now that I know that this is not all of who we are. It's a fractal of our soul that is in this particular life, experiencing a very specific life path, life lessons, challenges that are meant to grow the soul. And of course, our mission here as well, which is also important. So it's all intertwined. It's all part of the bigger picture. And so it's more about how are you being, rather what are you doing. The being part is becoming more and more important as we evolve along this ascension journey. And we're literally making history on this planet. So let's not fall back on our laurels. Let's not fall back into the comfort zones. Let's just keep going, guys, because this is going to get so amazing. And I don't want to slow down the process. I don't know about you. Anyway, so I think we're in for some interesting days and weeks ahead. I keep saying this, but I feel like we are literally on the precipice. We're on the precipice of this whole financial system collapsing, the revaluation of the currency. And I think this is what we may be seeing, the little inklings of. A lot of people are feeling the anxiety, they're feeling the excitement, they're feeling like something big is going to happen. A lot of people are feeling that 20th of April might just be a big day where things shift. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the financial system will collapse just during the Easter weekend or after the Easter weekend. So, we're all just speculating. Yeah, we don't know exactly what and how it's going to go down, and we're not meant to know because this is a very strategic military operation. I keep saying that, but it is the truth. So we don't want that information to get out to the enemy. It needs to be a surprise, literally, for everyone but perhaps 10 people around the world. It's meant to be this way. But just remember, there's a huge military operation in the background. It's all compartmentalized in a way as well. It's not like everyone knows everything. They all have their job to do. They have their mandate and they have their mission, and they don't necessarily what the other division next door is doing and how it fits together in the bigger picture. That's why they say this military operation is so secretive that only 10 people really know everything, what's happening and when it's going to go down and how it's going to go down. So, but for me, it's all exciting. I am just ready for it all. I'm ready for the change. I'm ready for the shift. Bring it on. And I'm sure you guys feel the same. So there was an interesting war report that was shared, that's just 2 days ago, where it said it's coming. General Flynn confirms the tech that will change the world. So he's starting to drop little hints about this. So it says, yeah, General Flynn, Michael Flynn just blew off the lid of one of the deep state's most protected secrets, suppressed military technology capable of reshaping civilization overnight, free energy, instant transport, space-based internet, and they hid it all. They had all these technologies for decades, guys, not years, decades. It says it isn't fiction, it's war. Flynn doesn't post unless it's a strategic strike. And this time he dropped a bombshell, a speech by General Stephen Quast, a high-ranking US Air Force officer, revealed tech that could end fossil fuel slavery, because that's what it is, globalist borders, and big tech censorship in one blow. What Quast exposed was free energy, no wires, no bills, no fuel. We kind of knew that one was coming, right? But it's now these crumbs are being dropped in the bigger public, on the bigger public stage. So it is coming soon. And then he goes on to say, teleportation level travel, anyone on Earth anywhere on Earth in under 1 hour. I'm so excited. Automated manufacturing, enslaved labor, ends dependency, internet from space, beyond the deep state's reach. And by the way, apparently that's what's really going on with Starlink. I see some techies and some EMF, guys saying, oh, this is very bad. Elon is filling our atmosphere with a lot of radiation, and it's not good for humanity. It's not healthy. Never mind the space debris and all the metals in the atmosphere. It's very bad. But I can't think, but you have to think beyond that. Literally, I don't think he'd be that stupid, or they'd be that stupid to put something that primitive up. So it's really about space internet, and I think when this is all over, they're even going to change the frequency of wireless communication. At the moment, the frequency is very low, and therefore it's quite harmful to all life in a way. We all have read the studies about wireless technology, 5G, and how bad it is for humans, plants, animals, all life. And I think it's caused a lot of disease, a lot of cancer, a lot of these things that we see as new diseases coming out is actually linked to radio sickness and the long-term damage that it causes, that it has on the body. So at some point, I would imagine that they're going to change the frequency of communication as well, because quite frankly, it's like a radio signal. You can choose any frequency. Why would you choose such a low frequency that you know is going to be damaging to life, all life? So I cannot wait for that to change as well. And of course, I think there are ways to counter that as well. Like, I buy a lot of orgonite, I wear it, I have it around me. I'm wearing this mega orgonite with a magnet and a copper coil every day. And I've got other stuff, around any and all smart devices, even fridges, and on the corners of the property. So in a way, I'm protecting my property. I'm putting it in a bubble of harmonious frequency orgonite. But I imagine they will have something like that can harmonize the frequencies, so it's not as harmful as it may have been intended to be. So a lot of things are going to be coming out, And he goes on to say, this tech exists. It's built, tested, buried, locked away in black budget bunkers. Why? Because once it's released, the elite are done. And of course, they are using it at the moment, but we're not allowed to. Like, hello, your time is over, my friend. It's time to go down. So he says, I mean, he posted it now in 2025, and it's not like it was years ago. And apparently New Zealand could be another globalist hideout. General Quast drops a strange name. He said New Zealand, random, I'll know. That's been whispered for years. Billionaires buying up bunkers, strange military hubs, hidden comms centers, escape zones for the elite when the world turns on them. Why mention it now? Because everything is connected and everything is about to be exposed. I've heard of celebrities buying up places in New Zealand. I can't remember who, but I do remember there were some celebrities that set up shop there. So yeah. So then he says, this is about tech. But it's also about treason. The tools to set humanity free were seized, buried, not to protect us, but to enslave us. And you forget about that fact, the people that knew about this technology, but hid it from humanity. Well, people were starving, dying, working themselves to death. Yeah, exactly. The tools to set humanity free were seized, buried, not to protect us, but to enslave us. The deep state built a prison using oil, borders, censorship, and war. I think there's a few more bars on that cell, but these are the main ones. And this tech will destroy all of that. Flynn knows the time is short, the enemy is cornered, the leaks are turning into floods. They tried to silence him, they failed. They tried to destroy Trump, they failed. They tried to bury truth, they failed. The storm was no longer coming, it is here. And when these suppressed technologies erupt into the public eye, there's no going back. It's not just witnessing, you're not just witnessing a revelation, you're living the ignition of a revolution. I love that. Brace yourself, because the tech that sets us free is about to be unleashed. I love it. I love it. I don't know about you, but I really love it. So yeah, guys, this is it. Let's see what else can be. I'm not gonna, get all entangled into all the news, and especially not the fear porn stuff. You know that about me. I don't even share that stuff. I don't even go there. No clickbait, no urgent, no warning. I don't look at those videos, and I hope you don't either. They're just trying to get us to buy into and mentally start co-creating that reality. Not in our world. We are the counterforce. But this post also sums things up very nicely by saying the timelines are merging and time is condensing. We might feel rushed because we were used to having a construct 24-hour rhythm that has now been condensed completely. The time-space continuum is only powerful and real if we give it power. If something more powerful comes along, then that less powerful entity doesn't have a grip on reality and it disintegrates. The light that's coming through is the fuel to higher states of consciousness, which is more alignment, more abundance, more transcendence. So that's what I wish for you this week and in the future. More alignment, more abundance, and more transcendence for all of us. It is not what we are used to in a 3D construct. So again, give yourself grace. This is not easy. However, it is simple. And I can agree with that. Allow everything to flow through you. And don't contract with where it gets stuck in the physical body. Just let it, keep it moving. If you're noticing other people are aggravating you, allowing you to be, or you allow for them to be right where they're at the journey, honoring them and holding space. Don't debate, don't fight, don't prove that you are right, they are wrong. Just have grace. This is not a time to repel. It is a time to remember that unconditional love is not the absence of healthy boundaries. The four agreements come to mind. Don't take things personally. Don't make assumptions. Use impeccable words. Do the right thing. Vulnerability and authenticity are trying to be friends right now, and they're not quite sure about this first introduction or a reintroduction. It feels wobbly, even though the bridge is sturdy. Be kind to yourself. Shine in your own light. By so doing, others can choose to walk into that without us taking on the responsibility for anything outside of ourselves. Shine if you choose, or retreat and just enjoy the warmth of your own light at the moment. It's okay to crave solitude. Be you. No one else can. I love that. And then one of the viewers also shared something very interesting with me. It was the 4 stages of awakening. Let me just see where it starts now. I might not have time to go through all of this. Yeah, I'm going to go through this now. I might share some of it on Telegram. So if you're not there yet, please make sure you are subscribed. That's where we share daily hot updates. That's all I can say. Everything is shared there. That's where we stay in touch. And then if you want to comment, I think you need to join the chat group. I'm not sure how this works. I'm not a Telegram techie, but once you join that, you can comment and you can interact with others. And so that's a great platform. And then, of course, we've got our private community as well, our 5D mastery community. We meet every second Sunday, but we also have a private chat group on Telegram where we share information and we can chat and discuss different things. You can find out more about that on my website, vividearth.org. All of the details for the community membership is there. People are loving it. We're a small, intimate community, but we've become very close and we've become somewhat of a new earth little community where we really help one another, overcome certain things. You can ask questions, you can ask advice in the group. It's really, really nice. There's some really gifted people on there as well. People that, are intuitive psychics, that read tarot, that work on awakening projects. So it's a lot of fun. What can I say? Things are looking pretty hot. Let me go through this quickly as well, actually. This one about Jasara is a little bit a few days old now. But just to say, gold is continuing to be a hot commodity right now. For decades, gold was the foundation of sovereign power, as we know, and that's just dwindled over years. This update was shared from Professor William Liebenberg. He's done a lot of research about Jasara and Asara and the currency revelations and the bonds and the blockchain and all of these things. So it's really a guy to follow. You can find him on Telegram. But he was saying, so now currently with gold being the foundation of sovereign power, it'll become the fuel to acquire XRP and Ethereum and all the other crypto, because that'll be how we will transact in the future. And there's no getting around that. So we might as well make that our friend, keep our eye on it, but make sure that AI and digital money becomes something that we happy with and that it's not centralized or controlled by a few. That's very important. Apparently, the White House is exploring a budget-neutral strategy to sell federal gold certificates, to use the proceeds to build a strategic XRP and Bitcoin reserve, to load up a digital asset stockpile, XRP, Ethereum, and a few others, and front run the digital Bretton Woods reset. That's very important. So this isn't just accumulation, it's monetary repositioning from physical vaults to blockchain rails. Other nations are hoarding gold. The US is turning into programmable liquidity. First, they ended the gold standard. Now they're weaponizing it to return and to dominate the next one. Who is donating the gold for this massive reset? So there's a video there about the history of the elders and their gold and what they put away for humanity. There's a lot of wealth that has been put aside. There's trusts that have been created by benevolent forces over the last centuries. And so all of this has been kept for when Earth is going to be ready for the next phase, when the financial system is going to come down and humanity is ready to be freed, and the planet is ready to redistribute wealth, that those assets are waiting in the wings. But first, all of the nefarious activity has to remove from this planet. All of the cabal, all of the hybrids that have been running around, all of the puppets, anyone that can damage this new chapter will have to be firmly under white hat control. And we are just about there. So it says, what systems will play a vital role? The coming cabal, gold RV, and the US dollar assassination, Basel III. The Shanghai Gold Exchange to force a gold RV. That's interesting. Why is Basel III so important, and how does it relate to your bond redemptions? There's a link there on the Telegram channel. First Basel III and then Bretton Woods III. These two forced the gold standard. And of course, we're seeing currency wars going on. Every nation in the world is in debt, and no one wants to say who the creditor is. Does anyone know who the creditor is? Yes, we do. The Rothschilds with their central banks and their fiat currencies and control systems, right? And they are controlled in turn, but they are kind of the main honchos. So can you leave the debt by them and bankrupt them in their own fiat currency system if you change the system and currencies to a gold standard? Years ago, farmers used the bartering system, and they say each paid each other in apples, and the good farmers decided to pay only in sheep from henceforth. So what would then happen to the apple system and the values of apples overnight? Worthless, right? So that kind of gives you a little clue. So can fiat currencies become worthless overnight if a new gold-backed cryptocurrency system is introduced? Is the global banking cartel's time up with a coming gold standard? Q Military Intelligence Post 2619, gold shall destroy the Fed. We've heard that so many times, right? Meaning the coming gold standard shall destroy the fiat printing Federal Reserve Bank with all the global central banks and systems associated with it. So there you have it, a little bit more insight on how that's going to happen. So that's all left-wing political parties in every country that is associated and funded by their central bank will go down with the system. Now, when the bond money pays out for those that have some bonds and all of these things, only gold and cryptocurrencies connected to gold, already attached to gold, should be considered as investments apart from property and other assets. Interesting. Interesting, that's all I'm saying. Yeah. That's definitely an interesting update. And then, obviously, we had just a weird anomaly. We had a complete break in the Schumann resonance. Not a blackout, a solid white bar that came down. That was, when was that? That was yesterday. I don't think I've ever seen that. It was a solid thin black band followed by a full white band, like quite a big one. I shared it on the Telegram if you want to see that. That is very interesting, guys. So you can see timelines are being shifted. People are remember anomalies. People have deja vu. Time is going fast. All sorts of things, Bring it on. Let's do this. Let's claim this beautiful new timeline that we know is destined for us, right? And yeah, lots of other things happen in Malaysia. The former Prime Minister Abdullah dies at age 85, and you've seen a lot of these authorities just pass away, even if they're not in power anymore. It's like the old guard. They're just literally moving them out of the way for a fresh new approach. We had President Bukele meet with President Trump in the White House, in the Oval Office. He's so inspiring, isn't he? So that was inspiring. It's good to see some younger guys coming to the fore and really making a difference and using common sense to, not the typical political, back and forth to lie to you, but literally changing the country in every moment, every decision he makes. Yeah. And then in other news, the White House has started notifying Congress of a plan to eliminate all public broadcasting funding and codify foreign aid cuts identified by Elon Musk's Doge. Key proposed cuts include $1.1 billion for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which funds PBS and NPR, and $8.3 billion from USA. That's interesting. And then also apparently, was it AP or Reuters? I think it's Associated Press. They actually took, they sought for some sort of interdiction, because remember they were thrown out of the White House, the press room, and they were not going to be allowed. So they actually took this to court, and you can imagine, I mean, if Trump is in charge of the executive branch, like, what are you doing? These guys are literally being destroyed in front of us right now. And I am just loving every moment. I'll tell you, I am loving every moment. What is happening now? Anyway, and then in funnier news, somebody posted, Democrat fragility is a sad thing. In just the past 24 hours, Democrats have announced that they are canceling the HBO subscriptions because Bill Maher dined with Trump. They vowed never to vote for Gretchen Whitmer again because she went to the White House, and they are throwing away their icy hot Reebok apparel and sparing off Oreos, Hershey's, Burger King, and Papa John's because Shaquille O'Neal shook Trump's hand. Just a little bit of fun. And then in a major scoop, Arizona is now forced to begin removing as many as 50,000 non-citizens from their voter rolls following a lawsuit. Finally, they are forced to do this. So you can see how all of that, those irregularities regarding the elections are going to be coming out as well. But this is a massive takedown project, guys. So don't expect everything to happen in quick sticks. And things are going to be over. I think the financial system takedown will change a lot of things. It's not like everything is going to be magically over. We're still going to be seeing the demolition of some systems, some people, some organizations, and that will be ongoing for another couple of months or maybe short years, But life will get better and life will get easier. And besides, we are just, raising our consciousness every day, and it's becoming so much fun just to be alive at this time. So I hope you'll agree. I'll leave you with this quote, or this truth post from President Trump, saying the best definition of intelligence is the ability to predict the future. I can read so much in that. I don't know about you, but if we think about what's about to happen, yeah, very, very interesting. So I think I'm going to leave you with that. I've got more things to do, but I was so glad to be checking in with you guys, and I hope you're well. Tell me how you are and where you're from. And don't forget, if you're interested to join our transformation retreat, you can read up on that on our website, and there is a link for that below. And of course, those in Joburg, I would love to have you at our Joburg New Earth Collective gathering on the 2nd of May. So please, don't miss that one. It's going to be an awesome opportunity to meet me, to meet other, visionaries in your area, and create our New Earth communities like we should now. Time is right. Time is right for that. So I look forward to connecting with some of you there, and hopefully seeing you an event very soon, maybe with teleportation. We'll be able to see each other from wherever we are in the world. So with that, I say goodbye, and I'm sending you much love.